We have a bit of a madness game from a 3v3 event that was run on our Discord. This is I got sent a couple of replays and I found this one was the most interesting out of them. The more people you add into a team game, the more options there are for it to snowball out of control and be very one-sided. So it can sometimes be hard to find like good, interesting ones, you know? So in the 3v3, not going to go through every single unit, but the main gist is we have Beastmen, Greenskins, and Skaven versus Lizardmen, Skaven, and Dark Elves. For the Beast Alliance, we have Skaven slaves sprinkled with goblins, so a lot of different chaff, some orc boys as well. Backing them up, we have rat ogres, minotaurs, boar boys, razor gores, pump wagons, more pump wagons, some more centaurs, some with throwing axes, some without. That's about it. So it's mostly a rush, but the Skaven did bring the avalanche mortars. And then for the lords, we have a Grey Seer with Scorch and Warp Lightning. We have Wurzag with Here We Go. And then we have Torax Bull for a bit of melee. The Beastman casters a Death Caster, Spirit Leech, and Fate of Buna. This is mostly a rush. They're going to defend Natty Boob with Sharpshooters and the Avalanche Mortars. On the other side, for the Skaven, Dark Elf, Lizardmen, we have Doomfire Warlocks, backing up Triads, Rat Ogres, and Doomflayers. Okay. Cold Wind Spear Riders, a whole crap ton of Skinks and Skaven Slaves, some Dark Shards, just one though. Dinosaurs, Packmaster. So yeah, it's rush versus rush. Both sides are just going to sprint into each other. For the Lords, Grey Seer has summons. He has Vermintide and the Dreaded 13th. We have a Supreme Sorceress of Shadows on a dragon, so Pit of Shades and Melkoths. And then to try and heal up that dragon, Mazdamundi brought only Apotheosis, but then his 2 bound spells, Banishment, Ruination of Cities. So it's a heavy cav rush versus a monstrous rush is the rough generalization I can give there, as Cold One Riders and Cold One Knights will compete against Razor Gore Herds, Minotaurs, and Boar Boys. Okay, both forces moving in. The Avalanche Mortars should be able to get out a lot of good early damage for the blue and green side. For the red side, they didn't take many good targets for him, you know. Kill our Skinks, kill our Skaven Slaves, that's fine. We'll get to you eventually, but with 3 armies worth of frontline, the Avalanche Mortars might actually get off a lot of ammunition. We'll have to see. Looks like the red team's gonna go set up some flank superiority. Both flanks, they're trying to go further than the enemy is, and the enemy would have to get very outstretched to go fight them, like have one Razor Gore Herd get 3v1 just to have someone out there for the sake of it, so they won't do so. Avalanche Mortars need to hurry up and fire. They are well within range, but the chaos of a 3v3 and navigating such large armies can be a little overwhelming. So you're probably going to see a lot of individual micro mistakes in small areas. Dreaded 13th spell is out, deletes an Ungor Spearman Herd and summons a bunch of Halberds, and a big ol' Here We Go is cast onto Ungor Spearman Herds and Savage Orc Boar Boys, who are getting really close to terror routing, which would be bad considering all the investment the green forces put into this fight, but it looks like they are going to terror out anyway. Mumbo Jumbo Chant, not enough to keep these guys in the fight either. Some decent damage coming back onto the Doomflayers and whatnot, but overall it was a pretty big win for the red side here, just pushing those guys back despite the combo. Avalanche Mortars also trying to help out this fight. Looks like they're going to get rid of the Eshin Triads underneath the blob pile up, though a Scorch from the other side also gets rid of your guys. So everybody's dying who's in a monstrous unit over here in this monstrosity. Looks like we have Doomfire Warlock bound spells coming for the Butchers of Kalkengard. There they go. So that flanks a monstrous pile up. The mid fight is chaotic, to say the least. It's just infantry piling up, and neither side is fully breaking through yet. Though we do have a lot of throwing axes hitting Mazdamundi right now, who does have to fall away. Otherwise, he will be in trouble. The red side is threatening to break through the right flank. Already we have Razor Gore Herds running, and just Ungor Spearman Herds and Skaven Slaves stand between Natty Bubo Sharpshooters and abject failure. Council Guard get hit with a little bit of a Pit of Shades as the Supreme Sorcerers of Dark falls back, so the Avalanche Mortars continue to fire in, and they're now focused on taking out some of the Dark Shards in the back line, as the Lizardman Cavalry has seen better days. On that big left flank fight that the green and blue side was so heavily invested in, it's still kind of undecided who is winning. Butchers of Kalkengard having a tough go versus some Cold One Knights as Doomfire Warlocks get caught napping a little bit. But Torox is solo keeping the mainline fight going. Otherwise, this force would have routed a long time ago, as we have some goblins filter in here and there. Night Goblin Big Boss also jumps in, but Torox is the consistent standard who is always going to remain and keep things going. 3 minutes in, balance power is 50-50. Right flank is starting to collapse a little bit for the green and blue side. I see a lot of white banners up. We have Eshin Triads getting to fight Rat Ogres, which is pretty good for the Triads. Though the blue and green side might hold just due to their absolute numbers on this side, as Mazda Mundi comes over to maybe bail out this flank and get something going. They got to shut down some of these range teams. The Avalanche Mortars and Natty Boobos are a little scary. Here we go. Cold and Spear Riders very injured, but they get on the Avalanche Mortars, and that's a big win. A full health Avalanche Mortar still is going to die nearly instantaneously. Bound Banishment from Mazda Mundi reaches all the way over here to hit the Council Guard, who are clustered up around the Feral Bastillodons. That's pretty big wins for the red team in the center of the fight, and for the red team on this flank where Torox is holding it down. He still is holding it down, but that does mean now he's surrounded by Rat Ogres and Triads and a Packmaster and starting to actually take some damage. His armor's down to 35 from the overlapping armor debuff abilities. Clan Rat Summon is out from the Grey Seer. Don't know what it's going to go do. It might run towards those slingers and just get rid of them for now. Who knows? As the Butchers of Kalkengard continue to fight, they've been fighting for quite a while. Their heal cap is in sight, and they're getting rear charged by Cold One Knights as they charge Doomfire Warlocks. That could be the end of them. We will see. Supreme Sorceress of Dark has seen better days. She's down to half HP. Mazda's still pretty healthy, and this right flank has been just a murder field for both sides. Everybody who was over here has died. Mazda is left alone to run through the various ranged units as some dogs try and fight Rat Ogres, but it's not going to go great for them. Another Pit of Shades from the Dark Elves. This one hits Skaven Slaves. Probably not the best cast, but it's hard. When there's this many units, again, it's hard to be like, is that a Skaven Slave or Clan Rat or Storm Vermin? What the hell is that? Dreaded 13th was used apparently as a full health Storm Vermin Halberd appeared right next to Torox, and Torox is trying to path his way out of here. His incredible mass and great animations can easily walk him out of the situation. So unfortunately for the Skaven of the red team, that second Dreaded 13th is going to be a bit wasted. Soul Blight was used onto the Butchers of Kalkengard just as Cold Knights were charging them, but then Effigy to get stops those guys in place, makes their charge a little limp, and does some damage to them while they're netted in front of the Butchers of Kalkengard. Bounce power shifting slightly in the green and blue alliance's favor as Mazda Mundi continues to run through the backline and try and disrupt, but for all his disruption, Natty Boobos are still online. They are still firing at him. And I do think the red team needed to get some cavalry or something back here to do more disruption a little earlier. Avalanche Mortars are still firing 7 out of 12 models despite those earlier Cold One attempts. And there have been a couple too many blobs around single entities like Torox and such when they really need to be getting into the back line, shutting down the range units so you can get the single entities later. Supreme Sorceress very low. Mazda Mundi's nearly heal capped. He's got to spread the love on some of this healing. He's got to heal up the Supreme Sorceress. Help out a little bit. Because we have a Feral Bastillodon way in the back line. We have a full health Bleak Sword as well in the back line. Red team has a couple healthy units that need to start joining the fight. And Mazda, like I said, needs to spread out that healing to the other big single entities on his roster that require it. The Grey Seer of Plague moving up versus the Grey Seer of Ruin. Grey Seer of Ruin chucking something down. No, it's an Here We Go from the Greenskins. Helping Rat Ogres and the Council Guard get more damage out onto the red team. Red team is in a bit of trouble. Plague caster summons a random Clan Rat. That'll help out for now. Doomfire Warlocks trying to shut down Natty Booba Sharpshooters, getting a lot of damage onto them, getting close to routing them off, but Torox and the Grey Seer are here. But Torox is actually going to fuck off. So if the Doomfire Warlocks get refreshed orders on the Natty Boobos, they could take them down, but it looks like they're going for Torox instead, who is diving Mazda Mundi. Ooh, that is a mistake. You got to take out those ranged units while you could. Doomfire Warlocks aren't going to do that much versus Torox. Unholy Clamor out from the Grey Seer, who is getting Spirit Leeched and surrounded, so that's probably the end of the red team's Grey Seer. Mazda turns. Rat Ogres are gotten rid of, so Torox is all alone versus Mazda and the Cav, but now the Doomfire Warlocks are leaving, so they're not even going to help with the Torox fight. No, they are. They're just getting charged back in. I'm a little confused, and another Apotheosis down onto Mazda as the Grey Seer dies. I'm guessing the Supreme Sorceress is already dead. No, she's routing, so Mazda's greed with the healing is really coming back to bite the red team. As now we have those Bleak Swords and Feral Bastildon trying to join the fight, but Balance Power's moved pretty heavily into the Blue-Green Alliance's favor. Where's Torox now? He's running away from Mazda. He is faster than Mazda, too. So Mazda might get his charge bonus. Random Colden Rider stopped Torox from running away, so Mazda does catch up. Torox is just trying to distract Mazda. Mazda's the last big thing the red team has going for them. We do have a Packmaster offering a little bit of healing and terror, but I mean, 1 full health Bleak Sword, 1 full health Feral Bastildon is all the red team really has left. And then goes the final fight. Wurzag on his pig, charging through various skinks, terror-outing them instantly with the help of the Butchers of Kalkengard. And there's a nice big Here We Go. Butchers of Kalkengard need to use that Here We Go to hit the Feral Bastildon, but it looks like they're a little AFK at the moment. Just healing up for now there. They get attack orders to move in. Torox did route away from Mazda, but like I said before, he's faster, so he will be just fine. Butchers charging in. I don't know whether they should go for the full health Bleak Swords of the Feral Bastildon. I think there are no bad options here. Rat Ogre's also joining in the fight. Can they hang on leadership-wise? Maybe, maybe not. They're thinking about it, but there go the Bleak Swords. Previously full health, now below half, terror-routing away. Grayseer and the rest of the Skaven are rejoining Wurzag and the boys. The Butchers of Kalkengard get recharged by the Feral Bastildon, but shouldn't matter too much to them. Mazda charges in, heal capped, shield the old ones down for him. Centicore's throwing axe is getting a little bit of damage out in the Skaven. Pivot to go fight Mazda, leaving the Beastmen and Greenskins to fight the last Feral Bastildon. As the Lizardmen are the last of the red team to be standing. With the Bleak Sword's gone, I don't think there's any Dark Elves really left fighting. I guess there's this one Doomfire Warlock unit that's almost dead. Grayseer friendly fires a little bit of Skaven because he wanted to hit Mazda with a Warp Lightning. A little greedy. Mazda does finally apotheosis something besides himself, but it is the Doomfire Warlocks who are just about to rout. While they appreciate the heal, they're probably not going to be that helpful. Mazda gets hit with a Spirit Leech down to below 3,000 HP. Very, very low. Army losses just around the corners. The Feral Bastildon and Mazda try and hold it down. Mazda's too low. And there goes the army losses. GG in a pretty wild and chaotic 3v3. Hard to keep track of everything that was going on there. Not really going to go through all the values because there's a lot to go through and that can be kind of insane. But the Beastmen looks like they put up a lot of value. Stubba and the Skaven, Natty Boobos paid for themselves. Avalanche Mortars did pretty well, but they didn't quite pay for themselves. Slingers and Rat Ogres did fine. And for Sipas, Bone Rattlers. Night Goblin Big Bosses didn't do much. Wurzag's support was welcome. Boar Boys did fine. Orc Boys did fine. Pump Wagons did well. The other side, Nurgle's PA and his Skaven. Packmaster and Grayseer did alright. Triads did okay. Rat Ogres and Doomflayers did okay. Lord Nearquad. Ha! Because Lord Farquad is far. Colden Knights, Doomfire Warlocks, mixed value, overall fine. And for Jepaldu, Mazda did pretty well. Colden Riders did okay. Yeah, they did pretty well in the end. And Feral Bastildons were annoying and disruptive. GG. Roar. Subscribe, yes, yes.